Hello, and welcome to the Scott Airpack 4.5 operation and maintenance video. This program is designed to familiarize you with your new self-contained breathing apparatus, the Scott Airpack 4.5. In particular, we will demonstrate how to conduct a pre-use inspection, how to don and doff the Airpack 4.5, and how to clean and sanitize the unit. Keep in mind, this program is intended only as a general guide. It is designed to supplement your Airpack SCBA's written operating and maintenance procedures, as well as the specific procedures by your Organized Respiratory Protection Program. Before we discuss the actual use of the Airpack SCBA, it is important that you have a general idea of how the SCBA works. The Scott Airpack is a pressure demand respirator with a mask-mounted regulator. This type of system is designed to supply air just as soon as the user demands it. At the same time, the system maintains a slight positive pressure in the facepiece. The air supply is contained in the back frame-mounted cylinder. The cylinder is a carbon overwrap composite vessel containing air pressurized to 4,500 psig. In addition to the 45-minute duration cylinder, it is also available in 30 and 60-minute durations. The SCBA's air circuit is charged when the cylinder valve is opened. Air is sent to the high-pressure hose and then through the pressure reducer. From there, air enters a low-pressure hose and the Airpack's mask-mounted regulator, where the air pressure is reduced further so it can be breathed easily. The regulator delivers air through a spray bar that sends the air over the interior surface of the facepiece to help prevent fogging. Once connected, the regulator will start the flow of air with your first breath. The SCBA AV2000 facepiece has a conical lens to promote a wide field of vision, 2 voice emitters for audible communications, and a fully adjustable head harness. Before donning the SCBA, you should check your cylinder pressure by inspecting the gauge on the cylinder valve. Look for the indicator's white arrow. When holding a fully charged cylinder upright, the white arrow will be to the far right. A remote gauge is located in the Pack Alert control console on the right shoulder harness. This remote gauge will only function after the cylinder valve has been opened. When the cylinder is fully charged, the arrow on this gauge will point to the green space on the gauge dial. The Airpack's VibraAlert, beacon alarm, and bell alarm are the low-pressure alarms that help the user recognize diminishing air supply. These alarms provide triple warnings of a gentle vibration of the facepiece, audible signals from the VibraAlert and bell alarm, and a visual flashing LED light from the beacon alarm. These alarms are designed to activate when 20 to 25% of the cylinder's air remains. The VibraAlert and beacon alarms will also activate in the event of a problem with the unit's pressure reducer. Whenever one or more of these alarms activate, you should immediately go to a safe breathing area to determine the cause of the alarm.
The name Easy Flow 2 regulator refers to the mask-mounted regulator. The regulator operates in the same manner as earlier version mask-mounted regulators with the air saver switch and VibraAlert alarm. The Easy Flow 2 regulator air saver switch is located at the top of the regulator cover and is used to save cylinder air supply when removing the regulator and facepiece combination or removing the regulator from the facepiece. The wearer simply depresses the air saver switch to deactivate airflow through the regulator. To restart the flow of air, simply connect the regulator to the facepiece, inhale sharply, and breathe normally. The Easy Flow 2 regulator is large enough for the wearer to disconnect, reconnect, and operate the regulator controls, all while wearing gloves. The Easy Flow 2 regulator, as its predecessors, is capable of sustaining airflow volumes in excess of 400 liters per minute, giving you air as you demand, and reducing your chances of overbreathing the system. The Easy Flow 2 regulator incorporates a heads-up display, or HUD, in compliance with the latest NFPA self-contained breathing apparatus standard. The heads-up display permits the SCBA wearer to continually monitor the remaining air supply by simply looking inside the facepiece. Let's demonstrate the HUD. As you turn the cylinder valve on, the 5 lights on the HUD illuminate. With a fully charged cylinder, after 20 seconds, only 2 green lights remain on. We'll use the regulator purge knob to slowly bleed down the trapped air pressure to show you the rest of the HUD lights. As pressure decreases to 3/4 service life, only 1 green light will illuminate. At 1/2 cylinder, a yellow light will flash. At 1/4 air supply, the red light will flash and the VibraAlert alarm inside the regulator will also activate, warning of low cylinder pressure. The orange light on the right side of the HUD that we first saw when the cylinder valve was turned on will illuminate only when the HUD's battery power is low, to let you know that a battery change is required. Another standard feature of the Airpack 4.5 SCBA is the Rapid Intervention Crew Universal Adapter Coupling, or RIC-UAC, which is also required for NFPA compliance. This adapter is intended to be used for emergency replenishment of an SCBA cylinder from a Airpack through an RIC-UAC wand. To utilize this fitting, verify that the user's cylinder valve is open. Remove the dust cap from the user's RIC-UAC fitting. Attach your Scott Airpack wand to the RIC-UAC adapter of the incapacitated user by pushing the quick disconnects together until the sleeve clicks into place. Next, slowly open the Airpack cylinder valve to supply air to the incapacitated user. When air stops flowing, the two cylinders have equalized, and the Airpack cylinder valve should be closed. Next, pull back the sleeve on the wand adapter until the fitting disengages and install the dust cap onto the Airpack 4.5 SCBA RIC-UAC fitting. Bleed off the pressure in the wand by following the appropriate operating and maintenance instructions that were supplied with the Airpack. It's important to note that you should always follow your internal departmental policies, procedures, and training before attempting to use this emergency device.
Routine inspections are required as part of all organized respiratory protection programs. The Scott Airpack must be inspected when you first receive it and as part of your regular inspection schedule. A respirator that is kept for emergency use but not routinely used should be inspected at least monthly. All respirators should be inspected after each use. With a bit of practice, an operational inspection of the Airpack can be performed quickly and easily. Now, let's go over this again and see how it's done. To start, carefully inspect the complete SCBA for worn or frayed harness webbing or damaged components. Check the cylinder's hydrostatic test date to make sure it's been hydrostatically tested within the last 3 years. Inspect the cylinder for dents or damage to the composite overwrap. Cylinders that show damage or exposure to heat or flame should be removed from service and drained of compressed air. Charred or missing decals, melted pressure gauge covers, or distorted elastomeric bumpers all indicate exposure to high heat or flame. Check the cylinder pressure gauge to make sure it's full. If it is not full, replace the cylinder with one that is fully charged. Check to make sure the reducer hose coupling is hand-tightened to the cylinder valve outlet. Next, check that the low-pressure hose quick disconnect coupling is engaged so the notch and rivet head are not in alignment. Gently tug on the coupling and hose to ensure proper engagement. Inspect the pack alert enclosures, LED lens, and wire conduits for cracks, wear, or other damage. Check the pack alert manual operation by pressing the red manual alarm button on the front of the pack alert control module. The pack alert will go into full alarm mode, sounding an almost continuous 3-tone alarm with the light on the control console flashing red. Turn the pack alert off by pressing the yellow reset button fully, releasing, and pressing the button again. Press and release the regulator's air saver switch and make sure the red purge knob is closed with the indicator in the 12 o'clock position to prevent the flow of air from the regulator. Now slowly open the cylinder valve, rotating the valve counterclockwise until it stops and then back off 1/4 turn. The VibraAlert alarm, beacon alarm, and bell alarm will activate momentarily. The pack alert will sound 3 chirps and the light on the control console will flash red as the Airpack is pressurized. This indicates the low-pressure alarm systems and pack alert are operational. The beacon alarm will remain activated. This alarm continues to activate due to trapped pressure in the mask-mounted regulator. Turn the purge knob on and off, or take a breath from the mask-mounted regulator to vent this trapped air, and turn the beacon alarm off. The beacon alarm will activate at low cylinder pressure, or if a problem develops with the pressure reducer. The pack alert control module should now be flashing a green light and not emitting any sound. Check the remote gauge to verify that you have a fully charged cylinder. The gauge indicator should be in the green space on the gauge dial. To check that your mask-mounted regulator is working correctly, hold the facepiece and regulator to your face to effect a secure seal. Then inhale sharply to start the flow of air. Breathe normally to be sure the regulator is operating properly. Then remove the facepiece. Air should flow freely. Stop the airflow by pressing the regulator's air saver switch. When you rotate the red purge valve counterclockwise again, air should once again flow freely from the regulator. Stop the flow of air by turning the purge valve's pointer to the 12 o'clock position. If the SCBA remains motionless for approximately 20 seconds, the pack alert will go into pre-alarm. The light on the control console will begin to flash red, and the audible alarm will begin to sound with an ascending-descending tone, increasing in volume. Move or tip the Airpack SCBA within 8 seconds of the pre-alarm sounding, and the pack alert will reset to normal operation. During regular operational inspection, the SCBA must be moved or tipped every 30 seconds to prevent the pack alert from activating. Check the pack alert manual reset by leaving the Airpack SCBA motionless until the pre-alarm activates. Within 8 seconds of the pre-alarm activating, press and hold the yellow reset button on the control console. When the pack alert sounds 3 quick chirps, release the yellow reset button. The pack alert will reset to the normal operation with the light on the control console flashing green. To check the pack alert full alarm mode, again leave the Airpack SCBA motionless to allow pre-alarm activation. Do not reset. Within 10 seconds of the pre-alert operation, the pack alert will go into full alarm and the light on the control console will flash red. While in full alarm, fully depress the yellow reset button, release, and depress again. The alarm will stop and the red flashing light will be replaced by the green flashing light. Now close the cylinder valve by turning the valve clockwise. When it is fully closed, slowly vent the residual air pressure from the Airpack SCBA by opening the red purge valve. The VibraLert, beacon alarm, and bell alarm will begin to activate as the pressure drops below approximately 1200 psi. When airflow stops completely, return the red purge valve to the fully closed 12 o'clock position. The pack alert will remain activated with a flashing green light. Depress the yellow reset button, release, and press the button again. The green light will go out and a two-tone beep will be heard from the sensor module. The pack alert is now off. If you find any damage to the Airpack or accessories during your inspection, the Airpack SCBA should be removed from service and tagged for repair. Damage can include conditions such as worn rubber parts, frayed harness webbing, dented cylinders, or charred decals. If the Airpack SCBA fails to operate properly during your inspection, you should remove it from service and tag it for repair. The Scott Airpack is designed for quick, simple donning. There are 2 ways to don the Airpack, over the head or coat style. Whichever method you use, there are several things that you need to do before donning the Airpack. First, check the cylinder pressure gauge to be certain the cylinder is fully charged. If it is not, replace it with a full cylinder. Make sure the cylinder is firmly locked into position by the cylinder band and retention assembly. Then fully extend the shoulder straps and waist belt. Always be sure there is enough room overhead and behind you to don the Airpack without bumping into nearby personnel or equipment. To don over the head, place the SCBA on a flat surface resting on the cylinder with the cylinder valve pointed away from you. While standing or kneeling with the shoulder straps closest to you, grasp the sides of the SCBA back frame with the side straps outside your arms. Leaning slightly forward and with your hands firmly grasping the back frame, swing the Airpack straight up and over your head. While slightly bending, slide the Airpack onto your back, making sure the shoulder straps fall into place over your shoulders. Pull down the side straps and straighten your body upright as you adjust the harness to fit your body. Then connect the waist belt and adjust it by pulling forward on the 2 side-mounted belt ends. Now you can readjust the shoulder straps to ensure that the weight of the unit rests on your hips and not on your shoulders. To don the SCBA coat style, position the unit in front of you with the cylinder facing you. Then grasp the inside edge of each shoulder strap and swing the Airpack up and onto your back. Bend slightly and pull down on each harness side strap while straightening your body upright to secure it to your body. Connect the waist buckle and pull forward on the 2 belt ends. If necessary, you should now readjust the shoulder straps to ensure that the weight rests on your hips and not on your shoulders. Next, press and release the regulator air saver switch. With your right hand, reach back and open the cylinder valve fully, then back off 1/4 turn. You will hear the VibraLert, bell alarm, and pack alert activate. The beacon alarm will also activate with the red flashing LED lights. Look at the remote gauge again to make sure you have a fully charged cylinder. Before donning the facepiece, make sure it is the size for which you have been fit tested. The AV2000 is available in 3 sizes, each with color-coded seals. Black is standard, green is small, and red is extra large. To don the facepiece, make sure the harness straps are adjusted to the full outward position. While holding the facepiece in one hand, pull the head harness out of the way and insert your chin into the chin cup. Then pull the head harness over your head, making sure the straps are flat against your head and neck. Now tighten the straps by pulling the 2 lower strap ends toward the back of your head. Adjust the temple straps by pulling the upper ends toward the back of your head, making sure you do not over-tighten them. Remember that when donning the facepiece, you should have a comfortable fit with no leakage around the face seal. If you detect leakage, you should try to retighten the head harness or consider a different size facepiece. Remove the regulator from the belt-mounted holder and insert it into the facepiece with the red purge valve at the 12 o'clock position as viewed from inside the facepiece. Give the regulator a quick quarter turn counterclockwise until it locks into place. You can start the flow of air by inhaling sharply. Every entry into a contaminated or unknown atmosphere should be well planned. Make sure you have enough air to enter, carry out your required tasks, and then exit to a safe breathing area. While inside a contaminated environment, periodically check your remote gauge. If the vibra-alert or bell alarm sound, or if the beacon alarm begins to flash, immediately return to a safe breathing area and determine the cause of the alarm. To doff the SCBA, first leave the contaminated area, making sure respiratory protection is no longer required. Pull back on the regulator's thumb latch. Press and release the air saver switch, and then rotate the regulator so the red purge valve is at 12 o'clock. Remove the regulator and stow it in the belt-mounted protective holder. To doff the facepiece, loosen the buckle release levers on the neck and temple straps, and then lift the facepiece away from your face up and over your head. Close the cylinder valve and release residual air pressure by opening the red purge valve. Once all air has been bled from the system, turn off the pack alert by depressing the yellow reset button twice. The cylinder can be changed after the cylinder valve is closed and the system's residual pressure has been released. To bleed the system, first close the cylinder valve by rotating the valve knob clockwise until it stops. Then release the residual air pressure by opening the regulator's purge valve slightly. When the airflow stops, close the purge valve by rotating it counterclockwise with the pointer in the 12 o'clock position. Turn off the pack alert by depressing the yellow reset button, releasing and pressing the button again. Unthread the pressure reducer hose coupling from the cylinder valve by rotating the coupling counterclockwise. Disengage the cylinder retention strap by pressing the thumb latch release up while lifting on the end of the latch. Now grasp the cylinder valve body with one hand and push the locking tab in with your other hand. Then lift the cylinder free from the bottom hook and remove it from the back frame. Replace with a fully charged cylinder and valve assembly by sliding the top of the cylinder upward under the band. Place the cylinder hanger on the hook at the bottom of the back frame. The cylinder is secured in place by pushing the latch toward the back frame to fully engage the cylinder retention strap. The cylinder retention strap should not be able to move up or down on the cylinder. If necessary, or if a different duration cylinder is to be used, the retention strap may be adjusted by sliding the tri-slide buckle on the retention strap to the right to tighten or to the left to loosen. To complete the cylinder change, align and tighten the hose coupling to the cylinder valve. Your Scott Airpack is equipped with 3 versatile accessories. An emergency breathing support system, or EBSS, allows 2 users of similarly equipped Airpacks to share a common air supply in the event one user has an emergency. A pack alert distress alarm provides audible and visual alarms to aid in locating a respirator user in distress. And a bell alarm warns you there is approximately 25% of full pressure left in the cylinder and that you should leave the contaminated area immediately. The EBSS system permits 2 users of similarly equipped Airpack SCBAs to escape to a safe breathing environment using the air supply of one user. Use of the EBSS system requires regular training by both users for complete understanding of operation and limitations. Consult your organized respiratory protection program for further information as to the application and use of the EBSS system. The EBSS system consists of a quick disconnect in the low-pressure hose supplying the regulator, and a similar low-pressure hose with a female quick disconnect on the right shoulder strap. To disconnect the regulator from the low-pressure hose, rotate the sleeve of the female coupling until the notch lines up with the rivet head. Slide the sleeve backward toward the guard to release the regulator. Connect the regulator hose to the low-pressure hose on the right shoulder strap of the second user by connecting the male and female connectors. After connection, unsnap the retaining strap on the second user's right shoulder and rotate the sleeve of the female connector so the notch does not line up with the rivet head. Test for positive engagement by gently tugging on the coupling. Both users must immediately leave the contaminated area to a safe, breathable environment. Once the cylinder valve is turned on, the pack alert is automatically activated. It will remain on until the SCBA cylinder valve is turned off, residual air pressure is bled off, and the reset button on the control console has been pressed twice. The pack alert is an intrinsically safe alarm that constantly monitors motion of the SCBA back frame. The motion sensor is located in the sensor module along with the audible alarm. If the sensor module does not detect movement of the SCBA within 20 seconds, the pack alert will signal a pre-alarm. If there is still no movement within 8 to 10 seconds, the full alarm will sound. If the SCBA wearer is in a situation where immediate assistance is required, depressing the red button on the front of the control console will manually activate the pack alert into the full alarm mode. Two 9-volt batteries located in the sensor module power the pack alert. The pack alert is designed to provide long battery life between changes. If during regular operation inspection the pack alert does not operate, or if the alarm continues to chirp with no light flashing on the control console, the batteries must be replaced. The batteries may be checked when the cylinder valve is fully closed, all residual air has been bled from the air pack, and the pack alert is turned off. Depress and hold the yellow reset button. A green light on the control console indicates sufficient battery power remaining. A red light or no light on the control console indicates the batteries must be replaced before the respirator is used again. To install fresh batteries, remove the sensor module from the back frame by depressing the retaining spring and sliding the sensor module from the back frame. Turn the sensor module over to expose the battery cover. Loosen all 4 screws and remove the battery cover. Remove the batteries, lifting at the contact end of the battery. Install 2 fresh alkaline batteries with the terminals positioned as indicated by the symbols molded in the bottom of the battery compartment. Inspect the battery cover to ensure the cover gasket is free from dirt, tears, or cuts. If damage is found, replace the battery cover. Install the battery cover by aligning the 4 screws and turning each screw 1 or 2 turns until the cover is fully seated. Then tighten all cover screws evenly. Reinstall the sensor module to the back frame by depressing the retaining spring and sliding the module into the back frame. Check to ensure the pack alert is operating properly by depressing the manual alarm button. The pack alert will go into the full alarm mode. Depress the reset button, release, and press the reset button again to turn the pack alert off. Pressurize the Airpack SCBA to check the pack alert automatic turn on. The pack alert will chirp and the light on the control console will flash a red, then a green light. Allow the SCBA to remain motionless for 20 seconds. The pack alert will go into pre-alarm. Reset the pack alert by moving or tipping the SCBA within 8 seconds of pre-alarm activation. Next, check the full alarm mode by allowing the SCBA to remain motionless for 20 seconds. Allow the pre-alarm to sound and then go into full alarm. Depress the reset button, release, and press again to reset the pack alert. Turn the cylinder valve off and bleed off residual air pressure by turning the red purge knob counterclockwise. Depress the pack alert reset button, release, and press again to turn the pack alert off. The bell alarm is an optional end-of-service alarm to warn you that approximately 25% of your air source remains. Once cylinder pressure reaches approximately 25% of remaining service pressure, the bell will ring rapidly at first and slower as the remaining air source is depleted. The bell alarm works independently of the VibraLert and beacon alarms. The VibraLert, beacon, and bell alarms may not activate simultaneously. If any alarm activates during use, immediately return to a safe breathing area and determine the cause of the alarm. To check the bell alarm, turn the cylinder valve on. The bell will ring 1 to 3 times and then stop. As with any alarm, if the bell fails to operate or does not stop ringing after 1 to 3 rings, remove the SCBA from service and tag for repair by authorized personnel. After using the SCBA, it should be thoroughly inspected and cleaned. The respirator and its components should be sanitized using Scott Multi-Wash Mini, rinsed completely, and then allowed to air dry before storage. To start, inspect the facepiece for rubber deterioration, cracks, or tears. Then check the head harness for broken or missing straps or buckles. The facepiece lens should be free of cracks or scratches, and the nose cup and inhalation valves should be properly seated. If the facepiece is heavily soiled, it may be necessary to first wash it with warm water and a mild soap solution. Disinfect the facepiece by spraying 3 full pumps of Scott Multi-Wash Mini on the outside of the mask and another 3 full pumps on the inside of the mask, making sure to wet the entire mask and sealing areas. Allow a 10-minute contact time to disinfect before rinsing. Rinse with a spray bottle filled with tap water. Shake off excess water and dry using a clean, lint-free cloth. The regulator can be cleaned by first removing any obvious dirt from the outside of the regulator using Multi-Wash Mini with a soft sponge or cloth. Inspect the inside of the regulator assembly. Depress the air saver switch and close the red purge valve. Spray 6 full pumps of Multi-Wash Mini into the regulator opening and the area around the opening. Swirl the regulator to cover the internal components with disinfecting solution. Turn the regulator opening upside down and shake out excess liquid. Allow 10-minute contact time to disinfect before rinsing. Rinse the regulator by spraying with a spray bottle filled with tap water. Shake off excess water and then completely air dry. The SCBA's back frame and cylinder should be completely inspected for damage. Make sure all air lines are free from cuts, cracks, or abrasions. Inspect the unit's harness webbing to make sure it has no tears, cuts, or signs of heat or chemical damage. And make sure the cylinder band holds the cylinder securely in place. To clean the Airpack SCBA, wipe all surface dirt from the back frame, harness, cylinder, and accessories with a sponge dampened in Multi-Wash Mini. Then wipe off the components with a sponge dampened in fresh water. The unit should then be dried with a soft lint-free cloth to remove any excess moisture from the unit and allowed to air dry completely before being stored. Before storing the Airpack SCBA, make sure the cylinder valve is closed, all residual air has been bled from the system, and the pack alert has been turned off. All back frame and facepiece harness straps should be fully extended. This video has helped to familiarize you with your Scott Airpack SCBA. But remember that it is important that you read and fully understand all printed instructions and procedures available from your organized respiratory protection program. With an understanding of how to operate and maintain the SCBA, the Scott Airpack will provide you with years of dependable, user-friendly operation.